do it with regular emails. You can do it with SMS messaging, or you can do it with Duo, Duo being the best option of the three. If you do it with email, you need nothing other than SafNet. If you do it with SMS, then you need the K-Connect product and an account with Twilio or to do the SMS messaging. If you do it with Duo, then you also need the K-Connect module and you need an account set up with Duo itself. So you have three, like I said, you have three options. I'm going to show the Duo option because, like I said, that is the better of the three options. So once SafNet's installed, you can configure and turn on or off the two-factor authentication. With that, you can use it with Telnet, or you can use it with FTP, or you can use it with the SQL connection, ODBC connections. And you can also use it for the sign-on server for the ACS to IBMI connection. So you would pick, or you can use all of them, or you could use any of these four options. I've set Telnet for 5250 sign-on to Duo, so I will demonstrate that 5250 Duo connects up to MFA. Inside the setup for 2MFA, you can also set up network overrides so that you can bypass or make mandatory the 2MFA function on specific network sections. So you don't necessarily have to have 2MFA running if you're local to the IBMI or in a known secure network. So that's one option. You can also use, you can set it for overrides by users. You can have specific users bypassing 2MFA, or you can make it that specific users are mandatory for 2MFA no matter where they are in your network. And that can be controlled here. You can also change the logging level if for any user or network segment. So I'm going to go with the Duo. We're going to go on to the Duo menu. And inside the Duo menu, you set up a Duo service account. After you register with Duo, once you create your Duo account, you will be given certain values from Duo that you need to enter here. This is a sample of what it looks like. Okay, they will give you the host name and the integration key and a secret key that you would enter here. Next, you would set up your users. You can assign users to an IBMI profile, but you don't necessarily have to. In most cases, it's an IBMI profile that you would use, and it creates a profile on Duo. So if I added a new user, I would add the user profile for the IBMI and whatever the name is, and then you fill out some information of their cell phone number and their email address. Now, that is only used for the invitation to Duo. We would send them an email to that address or an SMS message to that telephone number. And that's, again, only used for the initial invite for the user to enroll in Duo. Once they are enrolled, you will see a list of actions that you can do on a user. And so the very first thing that you would do would be check the user status. Now, actually, the very first thing you would do is send the invite to the user. The user would get an email invite. User would install the Duo application, and then you can send a test authorization push to the user. Okay, now if you once you send the test, you'll get I will send one to my phone now, and pops up, comes up with a duo authentication message, and you'll have an accept or a reject. I'm going to accept, and you'll see that the screen now accepted. Okay, so now you know the user's ready to go. What I will do next is go over to my 5250 screen and actually sign on. And here it tells me that I have to have my device. It's going to use the Duo. And to continue, I better have my phone and be ready to sign on. So now I have my phone with me. I'll just hit enter. And it's going to do the Duo push. And it takes a second for it to make the connection to Duo. Again, here's the screen. And it actually tells me in here that it's a telnet session that it's trying to connect. And I will accept. And now you see I have the 5250 screen. So that's the whole Duo process and simple. You can do the same process for SQL connections, and I'll show that also. Yes. Well, that would be, then you would set the type of, let me go back to the 2MFA. In here, you can do regular. Regular is email. So it would just send an email to the person. Okay, so you can't do both. It's emails or it's Duo. Right? Or SMS messaging. So you can also do it that way. Okay? So for a SQL connection, bring it up. I'd have to share another screen. Let's see, stop sharing. Share. Again, I'm trying to connect using ACS and SQL. Here comes the push right now. As you can see on my screen, it hasn't connected to the IBMI yet.
Oh, sorry, Malcolm, we can't see your screen at the moment.
Okay, stop. I don't know, but the video's not working at this point, or the screen?
The video is fine, just can't see the
Okay.
screen. There you go.
Okay. Are you seeing the whole screen now?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Now you should see the correct screen.
Yes.
Okay, so at this point, I am not connected. And it has sent me another Duo request telling me that I'm trying to get into SQL on a particular server, and it timed out. So I didn't answer this in time, and now we've got a rejection. So I will start again. And up comes the SQL request access, and I will accept it. And there you go. Now it should be connected. The moment. Again, I got there it goes. And now I'm connected. At the bottom of the screen, you can see that I'm connected. So that's basically how simple it is to use. Right? Do you have any questions or anything else I can show? No, this is from Duo. It is the Duo authenticator that they provide when you open a Duo account.
I'll put a link in the chat. Hold on a second. Oh, it's easy. Here we go. So Duo is a very common and very popular multi-factor authentication application. Do you see the link in the chat?
Mm.
You can also just go to your app store on your phone and search for it and get it that way.
Okay, so there is,
Yeah,
there's
that's how the process works. Is there? So Darwin, we just ran through the process for setting up and using the MFA. So now we're just in a little Q&A phase. So Miguel, that is how the process works. Do you have a question or is there something else that you would like to see? Yep. So we started working on an Okta integration. We made some good progress, but it has not been released yet. So right now for production, for our solution, you can use email, SMS, or Duo. Those are the three things that we support right now. Also to keep in mind, for the IBM i7.6 has some other multi-factor options as well. Yeah, no, okay.
gotcha.
Um, so Malcolm, we'll talk offline about how far we got with Okta. So, but Miguel, right now, I cannot make a promise about Okta.
SMS is even the better option. It's faster than email. Email can be slow sometimes.
Repite la duda, ¿cuál es? Sí. Mensaje de texto
That-
padrón de celular, ¿no? Gracias, gracias.
Texting. Text.
Yo estaba en otro, sí, texting, yo estaba en otra llamada, quise tardo demasiadamente y ahí cortó, perdona la atraso, pero sí estoy aquí. Ah,
Uh,
sí,
I can show SMS if you'd like.
sí. Yes, go ahead, please. Show.
So Miguel, in the chat, you'll see another website for a service called Twilio. And this is the service we use for the messaging integration. I just want to make sure that they have support for your country.
Yeah, so like I said, we had email, SMS, and Duo options. So one of the options is to use SMS, and for that, as we were mentioning, you need the Twilio. We have
Hey,
one.
Malcolm, quick question.
Yes.
Does Twilio integrate with WhatsApp as well?
Does Twilio?
Yeah, integrate with
Uh,
WhatsApp.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, good
That'll
question.
be interesting to find out because at most pretty much everything south of Mexico is very strong on WhatsApp use. So pretty much there will be like no like country boundaries if it had like WhatsApp integration or if it was able to communicate to WhatsApp, you know. So it's and not just there too, but like for instance, if we even go out to like Asia Pac, everybody's strong on WhatsApp and whatnot. So more so than basic texting or SMS.
Okay.
Let me see.
Right.
Yeah,
So
so
Darwin, that sounds like a separate integration. So Twilio is definitely an SMS tool, but
right.
let's take that one offline and see if there's a way. I'm going to
All
look
right.
down and see if Twilio has a built-in service with WhatsApp.
It's possible.
But for this demo right now, it's going to be, SMS to the phone.
Right.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
So in here, we also, in the setup for 2MFA, we have this K-Connect integration. So you can use email if you're not using the SMS, or you can use the SMS. So in this case, I've turned on SMS messaging, and I've also set up Telnet for regular 2MFA, and it will go to SMS. So over here, I've already gotten to the point where I sign on to my 5250 session, and it's waiting for me to enter a passcode once I say go ahead. So I have two choices. I can have it emailed to me, or I can have it sent to my cell phone. Okay. So I'm going to say send it to my cell phone. And let me see if do I have the screen up here? Let's see this.
Darwin, solo una consulta.
Yeah, hold on. I'm not getting my video. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to select option 1 here, and I should get a SMS text message. I hope. So now it's waiting for the text message to come in. And my screen now went away. And I got a text that tells me that passcode that's here. So I just have to key in the passcode. And now I've gotten past the 2MFA and I'm signed in. So that would be the same for SQL or FTP if that's what you want. So again, email, SMS, or Duo is what we have for integration points at this right now. It's pretty simple. Any other questions? For SMS messaging, I'm not sure what the question.
¿Para qué parte tú estás preguntando? Bueno, la cuestión del acceso del MFA, ¿no? Para configurarlo, tú dices lo tuyo es gráfico. Para configurar lo tuyo es gráfico, ¿entiendes? Pero la cuestión es que cuando estaba demostrando ahí ahora, ¿no? Para demostrar ya así, haciendo acceso dentro de la pantalla del IBM, ¿no? Y ahí, entonces, cuando el cliente va a entrar, va a pedir, pero cuando tú vas a configurar, va a ser por lo medio de Twilio, ¿no? Sí. La configuración solo de MFA o de todo. Okay. Quick question. As far as configuring like Kisco's components and not just configuring like MFA, is it all just text-based or is there like a GUI interface as well?
Well, when you go to the Duo site or the Twilio site, you can work with their GUI interface. Okay. But on the IBMI side, we are command-based, text-based, so that so that you can integrate these into your applications. For example, the SMS messages is a command that you can integrate into any of your applications. So that's why it's command-based.
Malcolm, are the MFA menus in Web Central UI?
No.
Okay.
Y solo tengo una consulta, Darwin. No sé si me apoyas ahí. Y con este método de autenticación por medio de la aplicación que ellos mencionan que es Duo, es necesario tener salida a internet desde el IBM para que pueda llegar a la aplicación. Y la otra es si es necesario un operador o no dentro de la aplicación o cada usuario o va a registrar su número dentro de la aplicación para que pueda llegar el mensaje.
Bom, primeiro vai registrar o número do usuário, de todo que vai receber la MFA.
En la
¿me
aplicación,
entiendes? Sí, sí. Correo
en la
o...
aplicación de celular.
Exactamente. Pues esta aplicación, ¿no? Si entra en la cuestión ¿cómo se dice? Ah, ¿Cómo iba a decir? Entonces, la cuestión de aplicación, ¿no? Igual tú miraste en la pantalla, ¿no? De la configuración donde tiene el correo y el número, ¿no?
Sí, sí,
Entonces, esta información sí va solamente a un número, ¿no? No necesariamente que el cliente no necesita un operador o una operadora independiente,
sí,
¿no?
sí, sí,
El tuyo hace la comunicación directamente,
correcto.
¿entiendes? Como si fuese un VoIP, más o menos. Entonces, en cuanto a conectividad, ¿no? Con la red, es lo suficiente.
Con la red interna o si es necesario salir de internet.
No, es simplemente conexión ¿cómo se dice? Momento que está configurado, ¿no? Porque igual, por ejemplo, ¿no? Tú tienes WhatsApp en el computador, ¿no? El WhatsApp en el computador depende de la conexión de Internet, ¿no?
Ajá.
Entonces, es la misma cosa de la de Twilio, ¿no? ¿Cómo que va a comunicar allá afuera con el celular si no tiene una conexión hasta la Internet? ¿Entiendes?
Y
No, no, no la S400. La S400 necesita estar conectada directamente a la Internet, ¿entiendes? La S400 está conectada a la red normal, ¿no? Entonces, exacto. Entonces, está tranquilo, tú no tienes que expor el S400 hasta el mundo afuera, no es esto. Solamente la cuestión de la cuestión de la MFA, ¿no? Para comunicar un celular afuera necesita la habilidad de comunicar afuera, ¿no? Entonces tú puedes ponerlo, por ejemplo, en el MFA o algo así, como libertad para comunicar. Solo esto, ¿me entiendes? La cuestión, con el gobierno está hablando. Sí. Bueno, igual los puntos de salida, los exit points, ¿no? Algunas cosas están abiertas para lo mundo afuera, ¿no? Esta es la condición, por ejemplo, de esta solución. Pero en verdad déjame ver igual un punto aquí rapidito. Hey guys, concerning like the Twilio and all that, and then to also communicate outside, to communicate with the phones and everything, what kind of requirement does it need communication wise? Does it have to be open to the network, or how does it like send a communication to the text message, or how does that all that like
It uses an HTTP protocol to go out. So it's going out over your port 80 or port 443 if it's secure. So it's just a straight TCP IP connection.
entiende?
Right, and then Malcolm, what is the current requirement for it's 7.4, right?
Yes.
What Miguel, what version are you using right now of IBMI? Okay, so we will have to figure that out. Do you have a timeline for 7.4? Okay.
It will work if you are on the latest PTF Cume. Okay.
For 7.3?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Está un PDF más actualizado del 7.3. Miguel? Okay. Yeah, so they're not on the latest PTF, but it's on the roadmap to do so.
Okay. Yeah, and this is because we use built-in connection tools in the IBMI operating system. And so in order to use them, there are certain requirements for the
Right.
operating system.
Right. The latest Cume and the latest technology refresh, I think it's the last one that was available for 7.3 is what you need to be on.
So, we didn't write our own, Cisco integration methods. We used what's in IBM already.
Hola, ¿me escucha? ¿Me escucha? Sí. Repíteme la pregunta, por favor, que estaba intentando regresarme el Zoom, no estaba abriendo. Pero sí. Aquí, en la versión actualizada de los 7.3, ¿no? Ya tiene unas herramientas, ¿no? Nuevas que lo permiten a nosotros avanzar con algunas de esas partes de comunicación. No están disponibles en las versiones anteriores. Por eso que la parte interesante, claro, ¿no? Mantiene la componente de la seguridad. Pero en cuestión de su roadmap, ¿cuándo piensas que van para la PTF más actualizado de 7.3? Ok, está cercano entonces. La velocidad que está pasando año, 2 meses van a pasar así en un rato. Está bien. All right, guys. So we reached the point or the climax as far as like the MFA goes. So they would like to now see SafNet and especially the web GUI, the web interface of it, please.
Well,
Okay, we'll take a quick look at Web Central.
let me make sure it's up and active.
Have we done a SafeNet demo before, Darwin? I thought we had already done one.
Not sure if we've done a SafeNet demo, but like, even if we have, there are new people on board here.
Sure.
So not everybody's seen it.
Yeah, because that normally takes, the demo of that's a lot larger.
Yeah, we can do it quick, and then if we need to do more detail, we can have a second call. Darwin, is that okay? All right,
Okay.
well, we'll just proceed. Malcolm, maybe you can zoom on this a little bit.
That's my full screen, so I don't know how to.
No, like in the web browser, there should be a zoom option. If you like, maybe right click on it.
I'm not sure how to do that. I don't have any buttons or anything. It's as large as I can make it.
Okay.
So this would be the GUI. This is the main dashboard, which tells us the status of the SafeNet installation, gives us some activity. I really don't have a pointer or anything that I can use here. I wasn't quite ready for this demo. So from the dashboard, you can see the overall health and the installation status of SafeNet. Once it's installed and running, then you can actually change the settings of the exit points. Here is the list of exit points that we support, and each one of these can be set to auditing only, or to control just the user who's accessing the exit point, or even further, control the user who's accessing the exit point and then control what objects they're trying to get to. So by setting the security levels here, you get the granular security level that you want for each of these exit points. You can override the logging level, just like in the 2MFA, to either be an auditing, just log only, or log everything. All right. There's also IP address controls. You can you're allowed to control by source IP address for each of these exit points. Correct. Restrict by user, or restrict even farther by user and the object they're trying to access. Correct. So you would use the lowest security level here, and that would be this low here, low, unlimited access. Okay. And the current logging level of all would give you what you look, just an audit record of all the transactions. All right. It's it can be a lot of transactions. So once you've started collecting the transactions, you will start looking at, let me see if I can get to that. There's a transaction log here, and this would be your list of all the transactions that are coming through. It tells you the status, accepted, who the user was, what the server was, what the date and time of the transaction, and then it gives you all the breakdown of the details over on the right here of what they actually accessed. Okay, so And then let's see if I can find some here, server filter that are interesting. I can select SQL Server transactions. So now here I've listed just SQL Server transactions. And you can see I'm going to make this width a little bit longer. And over here on the right, left-hand side, you can see a status. It says it was this transaction was rejected because I had no authority to the SQL statement. And on the right, I was trying to run a call and I was rejected because I was not authorized to use the call SQL verb. Okay. On the next one, it says it was accepted. And then you can see on the right, the actual transaction, the SQL transaction, all of what it was used. So you'll have lots, hundreds, millions of these transactions, and you'll have to use the reporting to get summarized reports. Okay. Okay. So what we have here is this is what we call a quick view. This shows me all the user profiles that I have defined. And then where there's a green check mark, where they have rules put in place. So these are abbreviations up here, but they actually stand for, down here on the left, user to servers is server, user to object, user to SQL, and I'll go through. So user to server. Let me just go like this, and we pick a user. Let me pick Justin. So Justin is got only several, he only has a couple of the exit points that he's authorized to. Okay. So for example, these ones, he's authorized to these exit points, but he's not authorized to all of these other ones that are listed. So if I wanted to give Justin access to FTP, then I would just switch one of these to yes, and save it. And now Justin has the access to the FTP logon server. So that's how you would authorize a user to a specific exit point. This can be done using group profiles, which is a lot easier to administer if you already use group profiles. You can always create or use group profiles within SafNet to authorize the objects. Right? I'm not sure if that's what you're actually. Well, over here, for example, this one says I'm just going to look at the group profiles. So let me look at rules for groups. These are all group profiles. And it shows you which ones on the right here have entries. So if I look at this particular entry for FTP-LPAR, this particular user has object authorizations for everything in the FTP lib. Read, write, delete. He does not have existence rights to the objects that are in the FTP lib. All right? The same thing goes for SQL statements. If I look at groups for SQLs, and I can look at public, you can create a public group. And for public, what we've given is public can use the select, SQL select. That gives anybody who you've given access to ODBC, to the IBMI, they can run a simple select statement. They don't have to be specifically allowed to. Right? the seam integration with like QRadar or something, the output is really all there is. I have to share a different screen. Share. Um, There's a command I have to go find for the and well, I don't remember the command right off the top of my head. Okay, so this would be the radar and a QRadar integration. Let me just pull this up correctly. You would activate QRadar here, turning it on. And then you would also, oh, I know why this is working. Hold on, I'm on the wrong screen. Let me go this way. Okay. So here's where you would activate the QRadar integration. And basically what this would do is it will take all of your transactions in the transaction history file and export them out into a file, a leaf format that can be picked up by your seam integration. And that's really what the integration point does. So you can tell it how big a loadout file you want, and it will create those files for you inside the IFS. And then you would use your seam tool to pick up those loadout files. No, QRadar is IBM's seam integration software.
It's Miguel, it's a seam platform that IBM sells. So you don't have to use QRadar because seam formats are standardized. So this is the export for the seam data feed. We call it QRadar because when we first designed it, it was designed around IBM's QRadar platform, but it will work with any seam platform.
Right. I mean, this is a file that doesn't really show any data in it, but let me see if I can find one. There they are.
Yes, you can. What seam platform do you use, Miguel? What seam software are you using? Is it
We use Stellar Cyber.
Can you write it in the chat, please?
Okay.
So SafNet will export its transactions out to the seam file. That's the only thing it will do. You can output only the rejections or the whole file time format. So for example, this file contains all the records from in a time frame from 20 to it's like a 5-minute time frame. Okay, so this is a standard Leaf 1.0 format that a lot of the seam tools use.
Okay, so we've got Okay, good news here. I'm just gonna post this in the chat. So according to this information from the Stellar Cyber website, they do support the Leaf seam format, which means that you will be able to use the SafNet export with your platform. I put it in the chat, so it's
I don't even know where the chat is on mine.
yeah, no, I just put a note in there that I found. Yes, SafeNet exports in the Leaf format. So as long as Stellar Cyber supports Leaf, then you can use this. You can use the SafeNet export, and everything will be fine.
Ok, pero sí soporta ambos formatos, ¿viste? Live and zip. Y también Syslow, entonces, me se envíen en cualquiera de esos tres formatos, no hay problema.
Yes. So was there? Malcolm, I'm not sure where to go from here. Let's look at some reporting, maybe.
I didn't run any reports. I can't really run the reports right now.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't prepared to do this
Yeah,
part.
yeah. No, I understand.
I'm not sure.
Yes. All right, Malcolm, in the web GUI, can we show how we can limit, like in SQL, we can limit it by object?
Well, I mean, that's really what I was showing before. This particular user has authority only to the objects in FTP lot.
Oh, okay. Can you switch back to the other view, to the Web Central view?
Oh, okay. Wrong screen.
So he wants to see an example of how we can do a sort of like really granular combination of user and
Sure.
object.
So, for example, my line and file one, and I can do a read. Save. There we are. So I just entered one record, one authority for one file in one library for that one user. And I said, you can only read it. Well, okay, then we go to a SQL statement, and let me start at this. Let me start at the beginning. Let me say test user. I'm going to first go and say, what server do I want test user to be able to access? So I will scroll down and say, okay, I'm going to give him all the ODBC access points. So I'm going to select all the ODBC access points so that he can do SQL. Okay. And one more here. So now I just gave him access to those servers, as you can see. Now I'm going to go to the objects. So now I'm going to add a new object for this person. I'm going to say QGPA or payroll and my hours, and I can read and I can write to that file. Okay. Let me just check this. I'm using a user that I shouldn't have. Ready. Oh. Oh, yeah, I'm not signed on as a proper user to do this. Justin, I'm on the wrong system to do this.
Okay. Darwin, are you still listening in?
Okay, Justin?
Yeah, all right. I
Okay.
feel like so we had prepared today to do the MFA demo. I feel like if we want to do a deep dive on SafNet, we're better off scheduling a second call so we can be like fully prepared.
Right. So I'm just going through some basic screens to add rules for a user. Right. So that's what I'm doing here. If you want to, so each one of these screens allows you to add entries for the IFS or for objects. So I've just added an entry for the IFS if you have stuff on the IFS. So that allows this user to get to the hours file in the payroll system, or the payroll directory. And then I've shown you, I've added this user can use the call. This user can use these FTP statements. And that's how you set up a user. You go through each of these items on the left, user to server, user to objects, user to SQL, and you enter all the rules. Now you can use your historical transactions to actually test those rules. So you collect the transactions for a few weeks, and then you run usage reports. And to do that, I have to show you the green screen side. Right?
Se crió, filho. Foi o que se criou?
We have a set of reports that run what we call usage reports. So you can run a report for a particular user against your historical transactions and get a summarized view of all the objects they used, or all the SQL statements they used, or all of the FTP statements they used. And you can use these usage reports to create your rules within SafeNet. Right? Right. Then once you've set up your rules, you can run a security report against your rules to
Then her brothers don't want their older brothers acknowledgement. Like when they're like
Darwin.
closest people to Darwin.
Right. Sorry, Malcolm. Go ahead.
right. So once you've set up rules for your users, then you can use either a batch security report or an online screen to actually test if those rules are going to work for you. So you would run the usage reports, adjust your rules, run the security report, and if the security report says there's going to be rejections, then you would go back and adjust your rules. Then you would run the security report again. And once you've got your rules set, now you're ready to actually activate the rules and enforce them for live transactions. All right.
I'm sorry, what was that? That's that. Malcolm, how are you on time?
Well, I'm okay.
Miguel, we have a few more minutes. Okay. Oh, okay. iEvent Monitor is a different developer, so not on this call, unfortunately.
Miguel, sí, sí, igual Justin estaba comentando, ¿no? Aquí entró en esa llamada maga, sí, listo para enseñar vosotros el MFA, porque cada cosa, cada tema se ocupa un tiempo, ¿no? Especialmente los SafeNet, para usted mirar totalmente cómo lo funciona y las habilidades y herramientas que están incluidas, se requiere más tiempo y también para seguir por los demás, ¿no? Entonces, iba a ser interesante nosotros apuntar otro día, otra hora, ¿no? Para presentarte lo demasiado. Pero lo que enseñamos del set es muy por auto, ¿me entiendes? Es muy, pues tiene mucho más, pero si requiere por lo menos más otro media hora, 40 minutos, si me entiende. Qué chévere. Hey, Justin, so we can reschedule for another day like this week, so we can, further present, SafeNet and the other solutions. And inform them that, we came on this call ready to show, um, what we call it, MFA and whatnot, but we require more time for everything else.
Right. So can we just find out, Miguel, do you think you understand the SafeNet product now, or do you want more time with it?
Thank you. That's all.
Yes. Right. Yes. No, they're all different programs. Okay. So Darwin, just to be sure, when we get back together, we're going to spend more time on SafeNet on the second call?
Yeah, we're going to spend more time on that. I don't necesito, no, más para asignar. Más para la otra herramienta, entonces. Pero, está bien, está bien. Está bien, que hay más todavía, pero si usted dice que está bien entonces. Está bien. ¿Y ¿Cuál es el producto que ustedes quieren que enseñe para la próxima? Okay, event monitoring and ASIC map. So those are the two we'll cover. They got a good enough overview of the SafeNet.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So Malcolm, thank you for what we got so far. Sorry to spring that on you at the last minute. We will set up another meeting and finish up all the details around SafeNet on that second call. All right.
Yeah, if you need some more, I can zero in on areas that they may be interested in.
All right.
Okay,
Can I
great.
get a
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. We'll be in touch soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.